I asked her to go last because I get, because this is so personal. This is so hard because, as many of my colleagues know, my closest colleagues know, on my very first day of orientation, I got my first death threat. It was a serious one. They took me aside. The FBI had to go to the gentleman's home.
Oh, now all of a sudden you're pro law enforcement? Huh? Miss Rashid Tlaib, now all of a sudden you're pro law enforcement? The FBI, we had a serious death threat and they took me aside. This is the same person that's marching shoulder to shoulder with radical Black Lives Matter activists calling to defund the damn police, which includes law enforcement, which goes as high as the FBI, my friend. So sick of these people. Can you not see this? I know conservatives, patriots, I know you all see this, but the leftists that watch me, look at this. These are the same damn people that preach to defund the police. And there they are, in testimony, congresswomen appearing to be thankful that law enforcement helped her. Oh, would you look at that? My gosh. Freaking loser.
I didn't even get sworn in yet when someone wanted me dead for just existing. More came later, uglier, more violent. One celebrating and writing the New Zealand massacre and hoping that more would come. Another mentioning my dear son Adam. Mentioning him by name. Each one paralyzed me each time.
Can someone tell me what this has to do with January 6th? Anybody? What does this have to do with what happened at the Capitol on January? Can anyone in the comments? Can anyone explain to me what the hell this has to do with Donald Trump? Nada. That means nothing. Oh, there's AOC.
So what happened on January 6th? All I could do was thank Allah that I wasn't here.
Oh my gosh! Hold on. Let me go back. Look at this. Look at this.
So what happened on January 6th, all I could do was thank Allah that I wasn't here. I felt overwhelming relief, and I feel bad for Alexandria, so many of my colleagues that were here. But as I saw it, I thought to myself, thank God I'm not there. I saw the images that they didn't get to see until later. My team and I decided at that point we'd keep the death threats away. We'd try to report them, document them, to keep them away from me, because it just paralyzed me, and all I wanted to do was come here and serve the people that raised me.
What?
The people that told my mother, who only had 8th grade education, that she deserves human dignity.
What does that have to do with Donald Trump? What does that have to do with Donald Trump on January 6th?
People that believed in me. And so it's hard. It's hard when my 7 brothers and 6 sisters beg me to get protection, many urging me to get a gun for the first time.
What the hell did I just watch? These are the same people that are calling to defund the police. You know, maybe in a way, hey, this is why we need law enforcement. This is why we have agencies. This is why we have such the Secret Service. This is why we have FBI to take a look at death threats against people. Hey, you still want to defund the police? Huh? Maybe defund the police for us, but not for you, because you're an elite, right? Because you're special. You're weak. This is coming from someone that has received many death threats. Since I started covering Antifa and I started covering Black Lives Matter and exposing and unmasking them for who the hell they really are, I have received death threat after death threat on Twitter, on Instagram. Every time I do an interview on Fox or I go on TV, I always get a horde of messages. It's always these white liberals and a lot of black people. We're going to find you. I hope someone blows your head off. I post the tweets all the time on Instagram. I'm not sitting here crying. I know what I signed up for. I know exactly who the enemy is on the other side, and I know what this comes with. I counted the cost. Listen, Rashid, you look weak. I understand it's a scary thing to receive death threats, and you worry about your family, but you look weak. Count the cost. You're a high-profile person that's been calling to defund the police. You say, let's impeach the mother effer, Donald Trump, and you think it's funny. I'm not advocating for people to go after you. What I'm saying is be prepared for people to come after you when you're making many enemies in the world, because that's how the world works. I don't sit here and piss and moan and cry, oh, I get death threats because I'm exposing domestic terrorists and neo-communists like Antifa and Black Lives Matter, and I just can't believe they're sending me death threats because I'm going on Tucker Carlson and exposing them. No, what you've signed up for. Count the cost. You make America look weak. What the hell does anything she said have anything to do with what happened on January 6th at the Capitol? I've received many death threats. She even says it. I'm just thankful to Allah that I wasn't there. It's like, what? You weren't even there, bro. What are you crying for? This has nothing to do with you. It's like, what was it, Mean Girls? Oh, I should have put that clip in here. Oh, that would have been funny. You know Mean Girls? At the end of Mean Girls, where what's her name? She shows up. They're all like having a big school meeting, and she comes out and says something, and the gay guy says, she doesn't even go here. She doesn't even go here, bro. She doesn't even go here. She doesn't even go here. It's like you weren't even there, dude. And she's crying. What? Dude, you know what's crazy about this is people watch this, they see it on CNN, they see it on C-SPAN, and they're like, oh my God, wow. Thank God that Donald Trump lost. He must be impeached. My God. Dude. Here's another one, okay? Here's another congressman. This guy's a joke. Total virtue signal. He comes out and admits, I've never understood what privilege means until all of my colleagues in color were scared on January 6th. This is probably why I'm so deboosted on YouTube. I talk way too much crap, dude. All right, take a look at this.
We know what it feels like, searching for something, anything, with which to defend ourselves, and realizing a pencil is about all we had. And we know what it feels like thinking that it's a real possibility that we would not see our families and loved ones again.
Okay.
We won't forget. We won't forget. But I'm not here this evening to seek sympathy or just to tell my story.
Oh, okay, sure.
Rather, to make a public apology for recognizing that we were sitting ducks in this room as the chamber was about to be breached. I screamed to my colleagues to follow me across the aisle to the Republican side of the chamber so that we could blend in. For I felt that the insurrectionists who were trying to break down the door...
Does anybody know who the hell Dean Phillips is? Ain't nobody knows who you are, bro. You already blend in. When people breach the Capitol, they weren't going to be looking for Dean. Dude, you're a nobody. You're a nobody. These people, man, they just want the damn limelight, dude. They want it so bad. Let's continue.
I felt that the insurrectionists who were trying to break down the doors right here would spare us if they simply mistook us for Republicans. But within moments, I recognized that blending in was not an option available to my colleagues of color. So I'm here tonight to say to my brothers and sisters in Congress and all around our country, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. For I had never understood, really understood, what privilege really means. It took a violent mob of insurrectionists and a lightning bolt moment in this very room. But now I know. Believe me, I really know.
You are a cuck. That's what you need to know. You're a cuck. A cuck, dude. 100%. Are you serious? Dude. Okay. There's so much wrong with this statement. He's saying that, oh, I was screaming to my colleagues to get to the Republican side so we could blend in, but then I quickly realized that my colleagues of color wouldn't be able to blend in because they're not white like me, so that's my white privilege because I would be safe, but they wouldn't because the scary insurrectionists were coming for people of color. What the hell? What? To be quite frank, there were people of color that stormed the Capitol. Just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, and one of them was a Black Lives Matter Antifa insurgent that was there to encourage Trump supporters to Jaden X, to encourage Trump supporters to vandalize and break windows. But they gave him a slap on the wrist and, he just went off to live his life as if, who cares about that, right? But dude, this is the problem. How could you be such a cuck, dude? There's nothing wrong with being white. That's not true. You can't even prove. Do you understand this? This is what impeachment is beginning to be built upon, is stuff like narratives like that. There's no proof to that. That's just your own mental illness and your paranoia and hysteria and your virtue. You cannot prove that there were people that showed up to the Capitol that were specifically looking for people of color. And your stupid little plan, we were going to go to the Republican side so we could blend in, but I quickly realized that my colleagues of color wouldn't be able to blend in because they're not white. No, that's not why people showed up that day. Does that kind of maybe even debunk their argument against Trump? Because they're claiming that Trump incited insurrection, that Trump incited sedition, that Trump incited a riot. So are these congressmen suggesting that they weren't there because of Trump, because of the election, or they were there to attack people of color? You see, like when you start to peel the layers back of this onion, it just smells worse and worse and worse, more like BS. Because that's what the Democrats do. That's what these establishment leftists do. It's all theatrical. It's all theatrical. Gosh, dude. This guy, it's just like, dude, you don't have to sit there and it's like really pathetic, dude. You're a man, you're a male, you probably have a family. I mean, I feel sorry for your wife. I feel sorry for your kids. Your kids are probably like, oh my God, Dad, really? Really? All this white guilt, apologizing for the color of your skin. You want to talk about racism? If you're on the side that's causing other people, other races to apologize for the color of their skin, no one can sit here and prove that white privilege was inside of that moment. That's literally all just skeptical. That it didn't happen. It's one thing if that actually happened, right? It's one thing if they got into the building, if they actually breached the building where they were in and they got in there and then no one but people of color got beat up, okay? If that actually happened, then you can get on stage and say that because there's a case there. It didn't even happen, bro. It didn't even take place. But this is what these people do. They put paranoia, they put fear, they put these hypothetical, mystical stories of racism in the minds of millions of people that don't think these damn things through, and they believe it, and they point at Donald Trump, orange man, bad. That's how it works. That is the Democrat establishment playbook. And it's sad a lot of people don't realize. I mean, things got even worse. Today was the first day. Those clips came from a couple weeks ago, or about a week ago. A lot of testimony given in Congress, congressmen, congresswomen. But today, it's got even worse. The establishment, I just say establishment because Democrats and Republicans want to remove Trump, even though he's already gone. It's like ridiculous. They're so scared of him running again in 2024. They come out with one of the representatives with an opening argument. And in the opening argument, this representative does this. And it's, I don't know, just see for yourself.
And when they were finally rescued, over an hour later by Capitol officers, and we were together, I hugged them and I apologized and I told my daughter Tabitha, who's 24 and a brilliant algebra teacher in Teach for America. Now, I told her how sorry I was, and I promised her that it would not be like this again the next time she came back to the Capitol with me. And you know what she said? She said, "Dad, I don't want to come back to the Capitol."
Dude, you gotta be kidding me, bro.
Of all the terrible, brutal things I saw and I heard on that day, and since then, that one hit me the hardest.
Come on, bro. You don't even believe your own crap.
And watching someone use an American flagpole, with the flag still on it, to spear and pummel one of our police officers ruthlessly, mercilessly, tortured by a pole.
What?
With a flag on it that he was defending.
Why is he smirking? What was that?
With the flag still on it, to spear and pummel one of our police officers ruthlessly, mercilessly.
Look at this Dr. Evil smirk.
Tortured by a pole. With a flag on it that he was defending with his very life. People died that.
What? Guys, this isn't SNL. This isn't like high school junior politics. Obviously, these people are horrible actors. Do you buy that? Do you think he's really crying? You think that's genuine fear, tears, and emotion? Number one, he's talking like his daughter is like 4 years old. 24? No, dude, 24 years old? 24. Oh, Dad, I don't want to ever come back to the Capitol. And my daughter said she didn't want to come to... She's 24! An adult woman. Listen, she's 24 years old and he's talking like she's 4 years old. The acting of these people is so abundantly clear. It's not real. It's all theatrics. It's all staged. It's all pre-planned. It's all fake. Listen, they know that there's going to be millions of stupid people that don't think this stuff through, that watch this and actually believe it. Why do you think he's smirking at the end? He's smirking because there's probably other senators in Congress. There's probably other senators in the room sitting there just looking at him like, what? And he's smirking because even he knows he's full of crap. Even he knows he's a terrible actor. Even he knows that it's just absolutely staged. Staged. And that's their argument. And here's the number one thing. Let me point this out again. What in the hell does that have to do with Donald Trump and their case of attempting to prove in front of the United States in the Senate that Trump incited a riot, insurrection, and sedition? What the hell does that have to do with proving that? Oh, my daughter, and I saw someone with a flag, and people, they're acting like it's 9/11. which is a total disrespect in my opinion. I understand people died that day, but this is not the darkest day in U.S. history. I'm sorry. We've had other darker days. Completely. And isn't that funny? We've had a dark history. America's experienced slavery. We've been through civil war. 9/11. Pearl Harbor. The list goes on. Isn't it funny how they try and take away from things that are genuine national tragedies? It's obviously a tragedy when a human loses their life, but this doesn't come anywhere near 9/11, Pearl Harbor, which this has been compared to by media pundits and people on Twitter. They're attempting to prove that Donald Trump incited a riot and insurrection at the Capitol and sedition. What does that have to do with anything? These are people that are attempting to state their legal cases to stick Trump with a conviction according to the Constitution, right? Trump commit high crimes and a misdemeanor. That's what they're going to attach it to, right? High crimes and misdemeanor. That's what the president commit. So he's going to be impeached officially by the Senate. That's what they're trying to prove. So part of their case is your daughter, who's 24 years old, came to the Capitol and said she don't want to go there anymore. And you're sitting there and fake crying. Oh, because you saw a guy with an American flag fight a police officer? That's your case? That's your proof. That's what you're telling the American people. And you know what's funny? Because you and I, patriots, you and I understand how ridiculously stupid that is. That's nothing. Trump was still speaking when the Capitol was being raided. Trump himself came out and said, go and peacefully protest and patriotically let your voices be heard. And before Trump was even done speaking, it had already taken place. Here's another thing. Did you know that the FBI has already proved that this was pre-planned before January 6th? That there were groups that were pre-planning a breaching of the Capitol before January 6th? You know what that says? You know what that tells you? That this has nothing to do with Trump's speech. The premise of their argument is that Trump incited this on January 6th in his speech. His son, Rudy Giuliani, CNN, they said this, they said that. They cut the clips, just like they cut the clip about Trump saying that, talking about them not sending their best. And like they cut Trump's Charlottesville clips. The same thing. It's the same thing. They cut off Trump's clips, and they're trying to prove that Trump called for sedition, incited a riot, and incited insurrection through his speech. Yet the FBI has already proved that this was already in motion before January 6th. This impeachment is a sham.